Welcome to Purphoros, the Bronze Blood. As far as our opening hand goes, we will keep on this one. We've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 lands. We've got a Worn Power Stone, and we do have a card draw source in a Cohesive Portal. So that's going to be pretty nice. And also playing against Golos, Tireless Pilgrim, which should make for a fun match. We'll see what sort of flavor of Golos we're playing against. Let's go and lead off with a Myriad Landscape. There we go. Anything else? We're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Purphoros, the Bronze Blooded. Indestructible, Devotion 5 turns into a creature. Then other creatures you control have haste. Then for a 3-mana activation, you may put a red creature card or an artifact creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. And then sacrifice at the beginning of the next instep. Playing it to Golos. And hopefully we're playing it Guildgate Golos. That would be pretty fun. Let's have Mountain come down. And it actually does work out really well. So we go Soul Ring. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's do this. So we go Soul Ring. And then we go Worn Power Stone. Yeah, I like that. I think that's going to work out pretty good. We could go for Myriad Landscape, but I don't mind going for Worn Power Stone. Anything else past turn. So that really does kind of open us up on mana. And then, play gets a ramp deck. Every little bit of ramp does help on our side of the battlefield. So playing gets Golos. Whenever Golos enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card, put that card on the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Then for a 2-mana Wooburg activation, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play those cards without paying their mana cost this turn. So let's make the land drop for the turn. So we've got a ton of mana, but we have no creatures to drop in with Purphoros. So I think at this point, we're just actually going to end up going for Portal. That's going to give us the best bet. Yeah, let's do that. So we go Portal, and then that also keeps us open on Myriad Landscape to grab a couple more mountains. That'll really make this Gauntlet of Might a lot better. So anything else, let's kick it back over there. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want a Bronze Blood infusion or transfusion, I'm not a medical person. I record magic videos, but either way, if you want to change your blood to be bronze blooded, head over to MTGOTraders. We'll toss you into Purphoros' Forge, and we'll see what's going to happen. Hopefully, it comes out okay. But make sure you have your wheel and stuff lined up, because that would, it's just good housekeeping on when you're going for a medical procedure like that, just to make sure that your loved ones are taken care of in the event that it doesn't go good. But anyway, check out MTGOTraders. Okay, see what we draw into. We drawn to Portal, and not drawn to Portal. Let's go ahead and choose Homage, because we just want to get card draw for the rest of the game. Oh, an opponent just said hey. There we go. All right, so we draw to Commander Sphere, which we will do. Oh, and then Chrome Mox, which is very nice. So yeah, I think we might end up holding on to Chrome Mox. So let's see. So we got Purphoros. We have no creatures at this point right now. I think we're still going to end up just kind of ramping out. And so that puts us on Commander Sphere. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. We're going to have Commander Sphere enter the battlefield. And then that's going to be 1, 2, 3. They're going to be Gauntlet of Might. Do we want to get that down just yet? They don't have any mountains, so that'll be okay. Now, technically, we just don't really need Gauntlet of Might that bad. So let's go red. And let's go for Conjurer's Closet. That way we can kind of set up a really good turn. This is pretty much what this deck wants to do. You want to be able to generate as much mana as possible and then just really set up the board state to where you can get Purphoros down, and then you can just kind of start dropping in creatures on your opponent and really becoming a nuisance. So that's kind of what we're trying to do with the deck. But yeah, be sure to check out MTGOTraders. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com/Jolt. Check out their website. Click on the link down in the description below. That will automatically apply the coupon, and you'll get 10% off anything off the website and help support the channel at the same time. So if you haven't treated yourself in a long time, make sure that you do. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to support cool content like this, or if you need to get your name in the credits, or if you need to get your hands on some of these sweet tokens, make sure that you're a patron of my Patreon. You'll be automatically entered into the giveaway. So there we go. If you're keeping score at home, it's officially free time. Have some fun. So we got a Golos trigger coming in. So this is going to be Mazes in Golos. So we're going to have some time on this. This is very nice. This is pretty much what Purphoros wants. And if you have not built Golos Mazes in, if you want to check it out, that's my only version of Golos, because what else would you be doing with Golos than doing than just going for guild gates? We did get a very nice card for Golos guild gates, and that's going to be Nayela's Intervention, because that's going to allow you to grab X target lands. I mean, just to tap out X spell, which is very good for that deck. Especially when you combine Azusa and extra land drops. I mean, it's just very good. So, all right, so we're going to have Portal come down. That's going to give us an extra mountain, and then Duretti Scrap Savant. Okay, so I think it is finally time for Purphoros. So let's go ahead and make the mountain land drop for the turn. And yeah, we do need to get Purphoros down because that's really going to help push our game plan. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at this point, if we end up going for Duretti, that would be nice. But I think at this point, we might be better served just going Purphoros, getting down Gauntlet of Might, and then having access to a ton of mana for Fault Line for next turn. I think I kind of like that. So let's go Gauntlet of Might. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And then whenever a mountain taps for red, we get to add, basically it's just double red. So it's very good. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So, but yeah, this is pretty much what we want to be doing with Purphoros. If you haven't seen the deck before, I've got 2 videos of Purphoros out that I released a couple weeks ago. This is basically just kind of a sneak attack deck. The original idea for this deck came from one of the first decks that I ever built when I got into Magic, and that was a Cloud Post Pandemonium deck. If you don't know Cloud Post, it is a land that when it's on the battlefield, you get a bonus for each of the cloud posts on the battlefield. So if your opponent has cloud posts, you get even more of a bonus. And so when I got into Magic, I didn't really necessarily play Legacy. I guess technically it's Legacy. But what I was playing was, just kitchen table Legacy, stuff where you're not trying to win by turn 4 or something like that. And you just build goofy stuff. And that was on Magic Online. And so my favorite deck to play was Cloud Post Pandemonium. And my goodness. Okay, so we're going to go for this fault line. Definitely, we want to clear this out. So we're looking fault line at least 5. Yeah, we're still going to be able to survive on this. Now, if they get Bolas Citadel down a little too low, we might even be able to just go for a straight up just fault line, which would be pretty good. So, ooh, and our opponent's got Ruinous Blast on top of their library. Exile all permanents that aren't legendary. Now, that would hurt them pretty bad. That's going to leave Bolas and Tamio. That still gives us access to Purphoros. Ooh, but yeah, if that blast happens, that is not going to be good. We're going to see what's going to happen. But at least with the fault line, we can kind of clean up some of this stuff. The only downside is fault line will not deal damage to Planeswalker. Yep, they ended up oh. Oh, no. Okay. All right, so we've lost all of our mana. And that hurt. That hurt really bad. And then we're getting, oh goodness, the Kodama's Reach, and then now they're going to be able to get land drops and draw cards. I mean, if they get down to 2 for some reason, then we've got a fault line for 2. We'll see. We might be able to do it that way. At this point, if they're trying to, no, it looks like they might just go ahead and pass the turn. So we got Golos swinging in for 3. Golos is going to knock us down to 25. I mean, this is not the end of the game. I mean, we've got Duretti. We've got some other options. And we can always try to leave up fault line, which, and then Temple the False God. All right, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So if they dip below, no, actually, excuse me. Let's do this. So we go Chrome Mox on Duretti. And I think we can fault line us out of the game. All right, there we go. Let's go Chrome Mox. This is not the traditional way that you're trying to win with the deck. We're going to exile Duretti. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go fault line. All right, so X is going to be 5 on fault line. Let's see if this is good. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. Our opponent in the chat goes, no 5 damage spell. One time. Our opponent goes, good game. Yeah, that was good. Okay, that is probably the best case scenario of closing that game out after an Urza's Ruinous Blast. I mean, if we don't hit Temple or Ancient Tomb or Mana Crypt, there's no way we're closing this one out. But, this is a big mana deck, and this is one of those things that we are including Fault Line in there for. As long as our life total is above their life total, if we need to tap out for a really big X damage spell, that's what's happening. So anyway, I'll see you in the next game. All right, bye. Welcome to Purphoros the Bronze Blood. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got Double Mountain, 1 Power Stone, and Rupture. Man, I am not super wild about this opening hand. Yeah, let's go and mulligan on this one. If we had some card draw, I would maybe keep it. And Gauntlet of Might, Mox Opal. Let's go one more go. Yes, we'll keep on this one. I like that. All right, we do need to put 2 cards on the bottom of our library. Let's go and put Inferno Titan on the bottom. And then that's going to be 1, 2, 3. We've got Chrome. Yeah, actually, we can put Mountain on the bottom. I think that'll work out. So we're going to click OK. Opponent's on the play, so we're going to let them get this game started. But yes, welcome to Purphoros versus Golos. I don't know how we got Mazes in Golos. I'm pretty sure either way, I'm going to the way I do these videos, I'm gonna make sure that this is game 2. So, but this is the yeah, we got the first one, so that was pretty good. Let's go and lead off with Mountain, and if we end up going for Chrome Mox, we're gonna have to exile Magus of the Wheel, which almost kind of, yeah, I think we should hold on to Magus of the Wheel. Yeah, I'd rather just make the land drop and go Fire Diamond next turn. So let's just do that. Let's just go and pass the turn. So we are playing Purphoros, the Bronze Blooded, indestructible Devotion 5 turns into a creature. Other creatures in control have haste. Then for a 3-mana activation, you may put a red creature card or an artifact creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Let's have Mountain come down. Let's go for Fire Diamond. That's going to be 2 total mana. It's going to enter the battlefield tapped, and then we're going to pass the turn back over there. Playing against Golos, Tireless Pilgrim. Whenever Golos enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card, put that card onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Then for a 2-mana Wooburg activation, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn without paying their mana cost. Ooh, and then we're playing get some Necropotence going. All right, so we've got the game cut out for us. This is Golos Maze's End, and so one of the things, if they just cash in a bunch of card draw with Necropotence, that is a pretty good. So, let's see what we can do about that. Myriad Landscape is going to enter the battlefield tab, but, you know, it's our only lane drop that we can go for, so. And yeah, I think we just still end up going Magus of the Wheel, because that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Then we go to Ready. Yeah, I like that, because we have Magus of the Wheel active, then we go to Ready. That's going to allow us to start going for some other options. Then hopefully we draw into another red source for next turn. That way we can Chrome Mox it. And then whatever we end up getting with Magus of the Wheel, that'll really kind of help us kind of go from there. So we already did give a shout out to sponsors in the previous video, so it is officially free time. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about this deck a little bit more. That game was a little bit of an untraditional game for this deck, but like I mentioned, you know, this is one of the options that we can win with the deck, is generating a ton of mana and then using just kind of a burn X spell to close the game up. Man, that felt good. If you haven't seen this deck, I recorded this a couple weeks ago. In fact, it was the first Theros commander that I released for the new set, and like I mentioned in the previous video, or the previous game, my inspiration for this deck was my old casual deck, Cloud Post Pandemonium, which used Leveler, it used Eater of Days. It basically just, you know, even though you have these creatures that have these horrible enter the battlefield effects, if you just have enough mana and you have Pandemonium on the battlefield, you can just cast Leveler, you can use Mirror Works to make a copy of it, and then you're good to go. As long as you can deal, if you make 2 copies of Leveler, that's 20 damage to your opponent, and you're playing casual 20 versus 20, that's enough to close the game out. So even though you don't have a library, that's what makes it fun. So, and I've always wanted to build a commander deck based around that deck. You know, I have done it in the past before, but it wasn't as good as Purphoros. And Purphoros, since it is a sneak attack commander, that's exactly what that deck wanted to do, even though sneak attack, when I did, when I first got into Magic, you know, I didn't really know card prices and stuff like that, and I was trying to do research, and I found this card called Sneak Attack, and I'm like, wow, this is great. I bet people don't use it for like Legacy and stuff like that, so I bet it's like $1. And then I go to like Magic Online, and I see that Sneak Attack was like $20 on Magic Online at the time, and I was like, oh, that is way too much. Why would anybody spend $20 on a Magic card? Ooh, we run into Pandemonium. Okay. Let's see. I think we just go for it. So that's gonna be Pandemonium. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's gonna be just enough. Yeah, because we can't go Magus of the Wheel and then wheel away Pandemonium. We need to do that. So let's have Pandemonium come down. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3. And the thing about Pandemonium is if our opponent does get down a creature, it's not the end of the world. We're not trying to close the game out as quickly as possible. I mean, we are, but I mean, we're not using it with like creatures like Magus of the Wheel. So if they catch Magus of the Wheel, that's fine. And then since we do have Pandemonium, I'm going to say that we can always hold on to Chrome Mox. So let's do that. We're going to hold on to Chrome Mox because we don't, you know, crazier things have happened. We do have Leveler. We've got Pandemonium. Let's just kind of see what we rip into for next turn, because once we get Chrome Mox out, then we can go for that Purphoros. And then just, you know, as long as if they dip below 20 with Necropotence, then we can just drop in a quick little Leveler and be good to go. So, well, excuse me, that's going to be 10. I'm thinking we have Mirror Works on the battlefield, that we need to find Mirror Works and at least find another creature. But if they're aggressive with Necropotence, then that might end up helping us out. Now, the other good thing is, since we did play in the previous game, our opponent knows that we do have X damage spells, so they're not going to just completely just go ham on Necropotence, trying to go for a bunch of activations. So that's another good thing. But yeah, I've had a lot of people ask, I'm missing something. Why is Leveler in the deck? Yeah, Hey, it's once we're going for the leveler win. If they have a way to stop it, if they have a way to bounce Pandemonium back, or they can get rid of it, hey, we lose the game. So, and it's kind of fun to play commander in that way, to where it's just you're putting you're like going all in, like a leveler enter the battlefield trigger. So, if they can't stop it, they can't stop it. But it's one of the it's one of the best feelings in the world. All right, so our opponent's going to be able to go coffers, tap down some extra mana. Wayward Swordtooth is going to enter the battlefield. That will end up targeting Magus the Wheel. Well, they don't. No, excuse me. They do have green mana with Golgari's Signet, so they're going to go for the Scroll Rack activation. We'll see what they end up going for. And with Purphoros, now if we do have Devotion when Purphoros enters the battlefield, that's going to be a very nice chunk of damage that we can kind of deal out to our opponent. But at this point right now, we're just going to be looking for creatures. Now, if they do end up getting rid of Magus of the Wheel, having Wayward Swordtooth fight it, so be it. That's kind of the nature of this deck, is that with Pandemonium, it applies to everybody's creatures on the battlefield. And so, it's just kind of what happens. So, we're going to get the Pandemonium trigger on the stack. And they're gonna, yeah, they can either deal it up top or they can deal it to Magus. Yeah, they're gonna deal it to Magus. I totally get that. And it's gonna be Golgari Rock Farm enter the battle. Sorry, my I have morning shift with baby girl. If you don't know, my wife and I, we recently had a baby, and she just turned 2 months old the other day. So I have the morning shift, and most of the time she's been sleeping till about 6 o'clock in the morning. And so it's I record in the mornings too, because it's one of those. And we've got baby stuff at night. There's different things that we have to do, and so I have the morning shift. And so whenever I try to record, I always hope that she sleeps at least until 6. But it's 5:30 in the morning right now, and so my wife just texted me that she's getting a little fussy. So I'm gonna try to, hopefully, fingers crossed. If you're keeping score, Loretta's wanting to hear about the game, so hopefully we can close it out and go tell Loretta what is happening. So this is gonna be the Necropotence trigger. Let's go and always yield to those triggers. Let them do that thing, and then let's see what we draw into. So Rolling Earthquake. Now that's going to be, even if we do Leveler, that's only going to be 4 damage that we can deal up top, or at least kind of 4 to the creatures out there, which is not going to do anything. They do have the City's Blessing with Wayward Swordtooth. So I think at this point, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're probably just going to have to end up going Chrome Mox and then exiling Rolling Earthquake. And then that way we can end up going for Purphoros and try to set up some of these activations. So let's go and exile Rolling Earthquake. There we go. They might think the coast is clear. And if we can go for Leveler, I definitely want to do that. So this could be red, and then that still kind of keeps us open too on Ready, where we can draw some cards and then try to close it out that way. So, all right, so anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. So we've got our commander on the battlefield. We've got a Leveler that we can hopefully have that come down and clear the board out. And then, yeah, if they just get aggressive with Necropotence, that's kind of all we need. Now, like I did mention, we did play in a game earlier, so our opponent probably might be a little cautious with those Necropotence triggers, but if it's like me and you have free card draw, man, you're pumped and ready to go. So let's put the Pandemonium trigger on the stack. Yeah, that is something that you do want to keep in mind if you're going to build this list or this deck card for card. Pandemonium does count for your opponent's cards or your creatures entering the battlefield. Now, there are other options out there that don't count for your opponent's creatures. There's Warstorm Surge, and there's a few other options that keep it on your side of the battlefield. But hey, that's what makes Pandemonium so fun, is that you're just trying to dodge it. But with them coming in for 8, that's going to be pretty sizable chunk of damage. So at the then Faithless Looting. Okay, I think that sounds pretty good, because it's either 4 mana and then Faithless Loot, or we can just Faithless Loot for 1 red mana, and I think that's going to be a better option. So let's do that. So we're going to Faithless Looting for 2. And then Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I think we just go Wheel of Fortune. So we're going to get rid of because we could hold on to Wild Guess, and that's going to give them a little bit more action, but we do so much better with like a fresh grip. So as much as I hate to hold on to, I wish I could hold on to Leveler, we're not going to be able to set this one up there with them being at 22. So let's go discard to Ready. Let's discard Wild Guess. And then plus we just really need to make this land drop. So we're going to go Wheel of Fortune. There we go. And tap down for 1 more. Bye-bye Leveler. We tried to live the dream, but unfortunately we couldn't get that going. So let's have this Wheel of Fortune come down. We'll see what we end up ripping into. But yeah, do they have they got Skull Rack. Okay, excuse me. The cool thing with Wheel of Fortune is, this is exactly what Purphoros wants to do. Get the mana out very quickly, make your land drops, and then Purphoros for a fresh grip of 7. And then as you can tell, we've got an open yep, Blightsteel Colossus. Okay, so actually I think we I don't think we have enough mana yet, but we can Blight Steel on Pandemonium to close the game out. Because we do have we do have the land drop. That's going to be Mountain. That's going to be Mox Opal, which is going to be active. And then we go Blightsteel Colossus. Yes. I think this is good. I missed this last game. I didn't realize that Pandemonium would deal that infect damage, but I think we're going to have to get it on this one. Let's go and drop in Bright. I don't know what I was trying to say. Blightsteel Colossus, and that should be 11 infect damage. Oh, there we go. Close the game out. Good game to our opponent. That's one of the cool things about this deck is, I always want to try to win with something like Leveler, but unfortunately, when you're back against the ropes, your opponent's got a Necropotence, there's different things like that. You've got to do what you got to do. So Blightsteel entering the battlefield, Pandemonium, that's a one-hit KO for that 11 damage. Even if you're playing not in 1v1, but in a multiplayer setting, let's say that you have Pandemonium, you drop in Blightsteel Colossus, deal that 11 damage to one player, that knocks them out, then you have Blightsteel that has haste, and you can swing it at another opponent that doesn't have that good of a board state, knock them out. So potentially for 3 mana, and having everything set up on the board does help, but for potentially 3 mana, you can knock 2 people out of the game. That's a pretty good feeling. So anyways, if you enjoyed your time with Purphoros, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.